All right, welcome everyone. We have got a massive week of corporate earnings reports coming up starting February 2nd. And you know how it is, with so many companies reporting, it can be really tough to figure out where to focus your attention. So today, we're going to cut right through the noise and zero in on the companies that are showing the absolute strongest bullish signals heading into their big announcements. I mean, when there's this much happening, it's so easy to get lost in the flood of data, right? It's pretty much impossible for any one person to track every single report, every forecast, and every bit of analysis. And that is exactly why we're here, to help you cut through all that noise. So, to find the clearest signals, we're using a pretty strict filter. We are only going to look at companies with a high conviction bullish sentiment rating of 8.0 or higher. This just ensures that we're focusing our time on the stocks that analysts are feeling the most optimistic about right now. Okay, let's get right to it and break down this week's bullish lineup, day by day. And we're starting with a really key report right out of the gate on Monday. Kicking things off for us on Monday is IDEXX Laboratories. That's ticker IDXX. They are coming in with a really strong bullish rating of 8.2, which, sets a pretty high bar for the rest of the week. So what's driving this? Well, the growth here is what really stands out. All this positive sentiment is being fueled by some incredible momentum in their veterinary diagnostics for companion animals. And get this, we're talking about a massive 64.7% jump in revenue year over year. That's being driven by both their diagnostic tools and more vet clinics adopting their software. Okay, moving on to Tuesday, the momentum just keeps on rolling with the semiconductor powerhouse, Advanced Micro Devices, or AMD. And they're matching IDEXX with an equally impressive bullish rating of 8.2. The huge story for AMD is its central role in the whole AI revolution. I mean, the demand for its EPYC processors and Instinct GPUs, the things that power data centers, is just surging. Plus, they inked a huge multi-year deal to supply AI chips directly to OpenAI, which is a massive vote of confidence. And all of that is translating into an expected revenue growth of 25% for the fourth quarter. All right, the middle of the week gets even busier with some really interesting names reporting. Let's take a look at the standouts for Wednesday and Thursday. First up on Wednesday is Coherent Corp, ticker COHR. It makes our list with a solid bullish rating of 8.0, and its story connects directly to that huge trend we just saw with AMD. This is just a perfect example of that AI ripple effect. Coherent is seeing this incredible demand because its technology is absolutely essential for the optical communications that go inside AI data centers. This strategic position is expected to drive quarterly revenue growth of over 17%, making them a really key piece of that whole AI infrastructure puzzle. Also reporting on Wednesday is the pharmaceutical giant Eli Lilly, ticker LLY. They're coming in hot with a bullish rating of 8.2, and this is driven by some of the most talked about drugs on the market today. The story here is really about market dominance and innovation. Eli Lilly's weight loss and diabetes drugs, Mounjaro and Zepbound, are just absolute blockbusters. But it's not just about that. They also have a really strong oncology pipeline and recently got an FDA breakthrough therapy designation for a new ovarian cancer treatment. It's just a super powerful combination. Now let's move on to a packed Thursday. We're going to start with Linde, an industrial gas and engineering leader trading under the ticker LIN. It carries a strong bullish rating of 8.2. So Linde's bullish case is really built on a foundation of financial strength and a forward-looking strategy. Analysts are forecasting earnings per share growth of over 10%, and that's supported by a massive $10 billion project backlog. And what's really crucial is that the company is making these strategic investments in hydrogen infrastructure, positioning itself for the big energy transition. Next up on Thursday is Bloom Energy, ticker BE. And you'll notice the sentiment rating here is even higher. It's coming in at a very bullish 8.5. And look at this. We're back to that AI theme again, playing a critical role. Bloom Energy is cashing in on the massive need for clean, reliable power for data centers. Their landmark $2.65 billion deal with American Electric Power is a total game changer, and their on-site power generation tech gives them a key competitive edge when it comes to reliability. And that brings us to our final and our highest rated stock of the week. Also reporting on Thursday is Rockwell Automation, ticker ROK, with a stunningly high bullish rating of 8.7. So why the top score? Well, Rockwell is just firing on all cylinders. The demand for industrial automation solutions is incredibly strong, and that's leading to expectations of double-digit earnings growth. And here's a really key signal. Institutional ownership stands at a massive 85%. That shows huge confidence from the major investors. So, after looking at all these individual companies, you might be asking yourself, is there a bigger picture here? What are the common threads that are driving all of this optimism? Absolutely. This table just lays it out perfectly. Artificial intelligence is a massive tailwind for AMD, Rockwell, Bloom, and Coherent. We're seeing signs of an industrial recovery that's benefiting Rockwell and Linde. Healthcare innovation is the engine for IDEXX and Eli Lilly. And of course, the ongoing energy transition is a key driver for both Bloom and Linde. These are the powerful macro trends to keep an eye on.
And to put an even finer point on it, let's look at the week's winners podium. Rockwell Automation, no surprise, takes the top spot with that 8.7 rating. Bloom Energy is right there behind it at 8.5, while a whole handful of companies, including AMD and Eli Lilly, round out that top tier with a strong 8.2 rating.
And just to reinforce the conviction behind our top-rated stock, this quote on Rockwell Automation really says it all. The combination of double-digit earnings growth and powerful demand for its core products. I mean, that's exactly what you want to see heading into an earnings report. And finally, before we wrap up, it's really important to state our standard disclaimer. The information we've provided here is for informational and educational purposes only, and it should not be taken as financial advice. Please be sure to consult a qualified financial advisor before you make any financial decisions. Thanks so much for tuning in.